Steelers Nation, welcome back to another episode of the Texas Steel Podcast. I'm Pierce Trexler, joined always by my cousin, Drake Greenstein, here soaking in a glorifying victory against the Cincinnati Bengals on the road. Walked in the trap, took over the trap. 44 points, Drake.
Come on.
When has the last time this has happened in a Steelers game? I mean, I know you said 2018, but that was 40 plus. When have we scored 44, bro? This feels electric. Obviously beating up on little bro, but a lot to get into. Just how you feeling off the cuff?
Feeling great, man. I mean, if you told me we were going to win a shootout in this game, hey,
guns
you called me
blazing.
out. I'm going to be honest with Steeler Nation. I didn't have faith. Pierce, you
Not
talked
many
to
other
him.
people.
You had faith, Pierce.
Hey, I
didn't
told
have
people
much faith.
this was our time. Everyone, my brother included, was saying they didn't feel good. They were predicting us to lose this game, unfortunately. But I didn't think it was going to be as high scoring of a shootout of an affair as it was. But, I mean, you talk about resiliency from this offense. One thing that let's just get right into it. Let's go, bro. Russell Wilson, what a dog. This is the Russell Wilson I was hoping we were getting when we signed him. And, I mean, you guys saw the stats, 414 yards, second most he's ever gone for in his entire career. You mean to tell me this guy coming off, hearing all the noise, do they switch back to Justin after the game last week in Cleveland, coming out here, and then the first play, first throwing attempt of the game is a pick six to the house on Russ?
Which was just clearly pass interference.
Clearly pass interference and just bogus, but nonetheless, his mental toughness to stick with it and come back and rally the troops. I mean, our defense gave up some big things, came away in timely plays, but giving up 38 points is definitely a little tough. Some argue the touchdown was garbage time.
Yeah,
definitely. But, I mean, I think they came up in
talk
big
about
plays.
What was the most critical window was late third, early fourth quarter when the game was still tight. And what did they do? A pick and a forced fumble.
Forced fumble. I mean, 2 on the game. TJ Watt, can we talk about him coming back into depoy
Yes,
contention?
sir.
I mean, after all the things that went down last week.
What'd you say, too? They finally moved him around.
Finally, thank God. They moved him basically all over the different sides. They moved him a few different times throughout the game and obviously led to some extra disruption. Had the strip sack early on Joe Burrow. I mean, can you talk about anyone that's more of a grim reaper to Joe Burrow than TJ Watt?
He dreads that.
Literally, he hates playing him every game. And TJ continues to feast on him as he did just today. I mean, overall, hell of a performance by the offense and defense on both sides of the ball. Special teams even. I thought Killebrew was all over making some big tackles.
He swarms the ball.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, they had a lot of drives start on like their own 35, 40-yard line, giving them some short fields, similar to last week, but able to keep it manageable from there. What do you want to get into moving on? I can go into some of the numbers overall.
I'll go into individual shout-outs, but I just want to talk. I said this with Justin Fields against the Colts, and I'll say it with Russell Wilson. When is this OC and this team, because the fans see it, I see it, when are we going to wake up and realize this needs to be more of a pass-first team?
Oh, big time. Well, okay, that's one thing I had in my notes. I was saying it felt like this game, they kind of took the training wheels off of Russ, which is crazy. There were training wheels on him, but we were throwing the ball far more than we ever thrown. Probably leads to, obviously, all the yards he was able to accumulate throughout the game, but I've never seen the playbook be as open as it was today.
Yeah, you got a Super Bowl winning quarterback that won with his arm.
And a similar scheme that he's already working in.
I mean, seriously, look at the Steelers. Actually, let me put it this way, too. This was the best Steelers performance of the year. This was their best win. I don't care about the 38 points. A lot of it was garbage time points. But what I will say is this needs to be a team that leans first into the pass. I'm not saying overwhelmingly passes all 3 downs. I mean, you have good backs. I'm not saying you don't. But it's a passing league, Pierce.
Completely.
We need to be ready in the postseason to be able to air it out and rely on your quarterback.
And be in contention for shootouts with the Kansas City, a Buffalo, and the AFC matchups.
There's
Lions.
No teams are hoisting the trophy that are running first, second, third down, and then dinking and dunking. No. Teams that win the Super Bowl have to eventually say, shit, the run game ain't working. We got to put the ball in our best player's hands, which is presumably your quarterback. So just like I said against Fields when they let the leash off him, I'll say with Russ, let our QBs cook. We didn't bring in 2 quarterbacks to let them hand the balls off.
No, most definitely. And, I mean, we see the results in what it showed.
414 yards.
414 yards. I can't remember the last time a quarterback's done that for us. 3 touchdowns to 1 interception, but granted, obviously, we mentioned
Juju
earlier.
Smith-Schuster was still on this football team when we were putting up that amount of points, man.
That puts it back. And one thing, as we're kind of staying on topic of the passing game and such, 10 different targets this game, bro.
Yeah.
He was getting
catches, not just targets,
catches to 10 different targets. Van Jefferson had a timely one.
So
I know
Pickens, Muth, Warren, Harris, Jefferson, Cordero, Calvin Austin,
dude, the big third down catch,
down the seam,
big time. Pruitt got it on Darnell.
My gosh!
And while we're just on this topic, man, I think obviously Van Jefferson had the big one to kind of get us on that, and you could just see the passion, and the team is starting to believe again. And this is exactly how in last week's episode I said there's 2 avenues we can go to respond to this loss. Take it with a chip on our shoulder, go into Cincy, ranked underdogs to the worst in the division.
They gave him 3.
They gave him 3 points, and we were sitting at that 1 seed. I knew what I was saying. Ye have little faith in this team, bro. Ye have little faith if you didn't think we could come out here and get it done. But just I like to go around and see Van Jefferson with that 1 big catch. Cordero Patterson had a few, but my guy, Calvin Austin, comes up yet again.
Size, tutty.
You can tell me all you want. Size matters. Size does not matter. Calvin Austin is a prime example of that.
But he's 5'7". Bro,
big hits, but sticking through and holding on the ball. You can talk about the size of the fight, the dog in the fight, but how about the fight in the dog? I've loved what he's done. This is his 3rd year with us, and it kind of seems like he's fully filled out his roster form. So obviously the wide receiver depth we need. Finally getting Pat Freiermuth involved. He had the tutty early on, but finding him over the middle. Trying to dap up the Cincy fans.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh, they hate us, but just complete offensive performance, even down to the running backs. Jalen and Najee, I thought, had 2 hell of a games. Najee was running. Najee was running with his hair on fire. I think he only finished with like 70-some yards. Let me see.
Najee, 16 carries for
75
yards. I mean that's
20-yard long run and a tutty. So
he's averaging what, 3.5?
Yeah,
I mean that's good. I'll take that from Najee.
Most definitely
a good game from him.
And I guess while we're just finishing the transition of offense, I guess we can bring up some defensive players. Obviously,
hold on, real quick. Did you see that stat they dropped in? No team has a worse divisional record at home than the Bengals versus the Steelers.
Come on, and that's with this Joe Burrow era.
You know who Cincy is, bro. Talk to him, Pierce. They Lil Bro,
and Lil Bro stay where Lil Bro belongs.
Lil Bro stays where Lil Bro belongs. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, and we know this is the same with the Ravens. I wish we could have been preaching this about the Browns last week, but bro, coming into our 3rd straight division game, two of which on the road, securing the victory at the 2-1. We're already over the split margin. We just need to do one more, and we split this division. Which obviously we want more. We want to kind of get vengeance on all of these people moving forward and double down on a few. But it feels great against the 2 most aggressive teams, especially going into Cincy and securing 1, but also winning the 1 at home against Balti. I mean, to already be halfway through the AFC North when none of it was stretched until our back half, I feel very confident with where we stand now.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Hard Knocks and the audio footage of this, man.
Oh, they were chirping.
What'd you see?
I saw Minka getting in it with Jamar Chase, babbling. Yeah. Okay, one thing. Let's just get into a few players. We hit the offense, but heading into the defense, man, Joey Porter Jr., loving what he can do, but man, does he cost us penalties. And I mean, one was in the garbage time, but they go in and they get the touchdown near the end and keep you still biting your nails as the kind of until the clock hits 0. But it's just frustrating to see him get a little grabby. I thought the refs kind of let him play today, which I was thankful for, but they were definitely throwing some ticky-tack penalties.
JPJ, he's got the reputation. I mean, as do most good corners, though.
Yeah.
Sauce Gardner, all he does is hold. Richard Sherman, bro, that's homeboy used to be grabbing jersey all the time, but not to excuse you.
They're timely.
There was a couple I'm just like, because I was listening to Tomlin's press conference on the way here, and he says that he was saying how T. Higgins is a goon because of his size, and he's handsy. And JPJ, he said he was being a goon back. Yeah. And I think that there was 1 or 2, I feel like JPJ didn't get the benefit of the doubt.
Most definitely.
When 2 guys are both going like this, don't call it on the defensive guy. I feel like you're just giving the offense the benefit of the doubt there. But to your point, though, I mean, he was... The one in the end zone, I felt like he was just pissed.
Oh, yeah. He was just like...
And it was a touchdown, and I didn't even need to see where the flag was. I was like, that's JPJ on Chase, or on Higgins, because he he was throwing hate. I'm like, JPJ, what you doing, man?
On the other side of the cornerback room, I thought Dante Jackson had a hell of a game. Granted, he came up with the pick, but he was basically on an island with Jamar Chase, who was pretty damn quiet this game.
Let's
see how many
catches,
he finished.
4 catches?
He had 6 for 86 and a tutty, but I feel like
I had him in fantasy.
They were the garbage time yards.
I had him in fantasy, and in the fourth quarter, he was sitting at 3 catches for 30 yards,
like
and
6 points
touchdown.
or something.
Exactly. Nothing crazy.
I think he definitely kept it bottled, but when the back's pinned against the wall, you're down 3 scores, you're going to have to open it up and be throwing, which is exactly what they did. Unfortunately, got some big-time chunk yardage, but, I mean, if we break down the total yards, again, I mentioned this was Russell Wilson's second career high in passing yards, which is just wild, but Burrow went 28 for 38, 309 yards, 3 touchdowns, and interception. Russell Wilson, 29 of 38, so a little bit better on the edge of passing by pass. Outperforms his yardage by over 110. And
now I understand why the Bengals are 4-8, though. That defense sucks.
I mean, when do you put up 38 points in a ball game and lose? That's tough.
I mean, that, and I mean, they're 4-8, and their offense is, they've, what was the stat? They said they've lost 6 games where they put up more than 30 points. That's insane.
I'd be kicking myself if I was a Bengals fan.
Here's like when I knew this Bengals defense, it was like, you suck. You really suck. Or they're just not well coached because it's 3rd and 4, games on the line. They get a free timeout from Michael Pruitt. Justin Fields trots on the field. If I'm a defensive coach, I say, literally don't even watch Najee.
Yeah.
Watch him with
Just
the ball. They're only bringing Justin in to keep it.
Pulled out that right side.
And sure enough,
3 guys trucking against him.
All Cincinnati went to Najee, and Justin Fields just skirts through an easy 8-yard gain. And that told me first, I was like, this defense sucks, man.
They're dumb.
I mean,
thankfully, that was at the time that we were able to get out there and kind of knee it out from there. So all pressure was on. They were a little gassed. I mean, they were on the field a lot. Waitman's first punt didn't come until the 4th quarter, I don't think. So it was kind of just wild in that regard. But obviously, we're super happy of his efforts for kind of just staying loose on the bench for the most part. I mean, we damn near scored every single driving possession we had on offense. Felt good. Advancing to, what are we, 9-3 at this point?
That's a great. And statistically, I mean, it's basically a certainty for the playoffs. 99%.
But we're not chasing just a playoff spot. We don't want that wild card position. We need to get out and make a run to, obviously, the top of the AFC North. We got Kansas City coming later. They got
and look at this, Pierce.
Victory.
Look at this.
Oh, Eagles up right now against the Ravens. We're going to need this one to close out. We got Eagles 9-2, Ravens 8-4. Obviously, dropping them down to 8-5. Us advancing to 9-3 would only help us in taking an extra game step on the competition of the AFC North. But we got the Bills tonight against the Niners. Niners are pissed off. They're fired up.
In a freaking blizzard over there. Did you see the photos?
No.
Yeah, I mean, the entire stadium is coated in snow. Oh,
gosh. Well, that's probably not what the Niners are used to playing in, so probably favors Buffalo. But as we saw just last week in the blizzard, the worst team generally gets the game. Yeah, it gives them a little bit of a benefit. So we'll see how that one comes tonight. Obviously, if the Bills drop, they would go to 9-3, same as us, but I think we'd jump them because of our division record
or like AFC conference record.
Yeah. We'd have to double check and see tonight whenever those officially come out. But felt damn good to get this one. I'm just trying to think where else we can go with some shout outs.
It was the best win of the season. It was the best offensive game of the season.
Oh yeah,
Nick Herbig
came up timely. I mean, with Highsmith still recovering from his injury. Obviously, we're thinking hopefully by the Eagles game he can work back in. So one more week out for him, but Herbig has stood up.
And that was the Steelers' first win without Highsmith. We're 0-2 without him.
Really?
Or 0-3 without him.
Wow.
So every game that Alex Highsmith has not played, we have not
Well, that goes to show because TJ Watt gets bottled up. But again, he got moved around today, was able to find a little bit more edges. I'm not sure if the strip sack came on the opposite side. Did it?
The strip sack. It came from...
it was his normal side.
Yeah,
it was
but
side.
I'll say this, though, too. I was getting pissed with Terrell Austin because I hated that 3rd and 20 conversion to T. Higgins. But the Steelers least we have such great pass rushers. They the least blitz team in the NFL. Mm-hmm. They do not blitz
because they send 4 and they get
on that Herbig play. They sent Queen. They sent Wilson. And then that led up to Herbig getting that one-on-one matchup, which he just blew by right guard. He just blew by him, which just led to the strip sack. So shout out Terrell Austin for that scheme because we don't blitz very often, Pierce. I don't know if you know. We always only send 4.
That's all we need.
And just sit back. But sent, 6 guys? Mm-hmm. That was probably one of the most pivotal plays of the game.
One of those guys that's always sending within the 4, Cam Hayward. Yeah. Can we give a shout to Captain Cam? I mean, this dude reverse aging out here. 35 years old. Completely worth every penny of his contract thus far. I mean, that's a one-helmet guy. Mm-hmm. Super happy to see him continue to show up and make impact play after impact play. I mean, he had the batted ball, he had the sack, he had the chase down on Burrow on the outside. I mean, he just came up in so many big ways, and obviously he had, I think, the tip that led to the pick, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I mean, that pick
2 batted balls.
Yeah, Dante Jackson's pick, that you might as well give that ball to Cam.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Yeah. But 5th on the season for Action Jackson. You talk about an acquirement. What's Deontay doing against the Ravens? What is he doing right now? Probably a whole lot of nothing, but obviously that trade continues to benefit us. He's a 1-year cat, so we need to sign him over and over, as is Deshaun Elliott's proven and worth his money. I thought Minka had a good game. Yeah. I mean, damn, all across. Peyton Wilson had another few good actions.
He got the touchdown. Or did he recover?
The recovery for the grab. So, I mean, flying around both ends of the ball just feels good in Steelers Nation.
Needed a get back.
And you know what's going to be even better? Getting back on Cleveland next week, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Getting that revenge game back at the crib. We are not losing that one, so you might as well already chalk us in the 10 category win market.
We're not losing that game.
No, that one's a different, and you can clip it, do whatever you want to. We will not lose that game next week. We're not losing that game. We're here for it. Anything else you want to tap into before we get out of here?
No, just a big one that we needed to see from our offense. And honestly, it gives me a little bit of a confidence boost, Pierce.
What do you think it does to the players?
Let's just put it this way. If you were to say 2 days ago, the Steelers win this game against Cincy, how do they do it? I would have said they muddy up the game, they slow it down, they make it a run game.
It's the over-under is no more than 45.
Yeah, it's what Tomlin calls December football, where it just... Najee wears them down in the 4th quarter. We win like 17-14.
Yeah.
You tell me we put up 44 freaking points? We gave up 38, but 44 points. Russ threw for 414, second most in his career. I'm taking this football. I'm giving it straight to Russell Wilson and saying, lead us to the promised land. Yep. We did not bring him here to hand the football off on 1st and 2nd down. And man's going to have to make plays in January and February, Pierce. Let him do it now.
And it looks like the training wheels came off to some extent today. Please. He was open playbook and obviously slicing and dicing, basically having his way the whole way around and the entirety of the game. And especially, I like seeing the grit early, facing adversity with that pick 6, but he just flushed it. Next series went down, and we didn't punt until the 4th quarter after that. So
the only thing I will say before we wrap this thing up is, oh my God, how many guys had to pull George Pickens aside and around the arm? I saw Cam Hayward, I saw Broderick Jones, I saw Mike Tomlin. I will say, Pierce, it feels like it's just like a ticking time bomb before we see him take off his shoulder pads like AB and just give the bird to the crowd.
I hope we're not at that point.
I hope we're not.
I think he's just a sore loser, but he's a damn happy winner. Yeah. So I think winning solves all. Let's just continue to do that. Get him his targets, which he did. I mean, dude.
Three catches, 74 yards. He's averaging 20 yards a catch.
Randy Moss stats type beat. Yeah. But that one, I mean, obviously dropping the bucket, Russell down him, the deep ball. Oh, it's
chef's kiss. Come on,
it's incredible. But we need to see it again. Obviously, we face the Browns. I expect nothing less of a performance next week. We'll come at you guys with a little preview for that one, but soak it in. 9-3 feels good. Wish it could have been 10-2 or hell, even 11-0 at this point. But to each its own. Flush the losses. Move on to the next one. Cleveland, we get that revenge game next week. Bengals, Lil Bro stays Lil Bro. Yes. Let's get to see them back at the crib, too. So it'll be nice to have all these opponents come back our way and handle business in that. But Steelers Nation, until next time, you guys wave those towels. Enjoy this victory Monday, tomorrow. And here we go, Steelers. Here we go.